Gonzaga Nation SI, we've got another special guest, head coach of an upcoming opponent for the Zags, USD Torrero head coach. He's actually got some Washington ties himself, Sam Scholl. Sam, thanks for joining.
Dan, appreciate you having me, bud.
For sure. So you've been connected with the WCC for quite some time. You are now a head coach at San Diego, and I think you've got this Torrero team kind of moving in the right direction. I think when you look at things within the league, Gonzaga obviously has been the top dog for some time. BYU and St. Mary's have challenged, but you've got yourselves, Santa Clara looking very good, USF having a nice year. Let's touch on the league real quick. What you're seeing?
It's an amazing league. I mean, I just filled with some of the best coaches in the country. Starting at the top with Coach Few, who was a Hall of Famer, and then all the way on down. I mean, it was just amazing coaching, and then really, really good players across the board. Across the board, you're every night in the WCC, you're playing against some really talented guys, and so we talk about all the time here. We have to be at our absolute best to have a chance to compete, in each of the games, and be very, very disciplined. And so, I think it's going to be an unprecedented year in the conference. I think, we have a chance to see maybe 4 teams in the NCAA tournament, which would be unprecedented. It's never happened before in the WCC. And so, it's an exciting conference to be a part of, and an honor to have a chance to compete in.
Yeah, I've been saying it for quite a few weeks now. I think this is the year for the WCC to get 4 teams. I think it speaks to the strength at the top of the league. But I think if you look at 5, 6, 7, your team included in that 5, 6, 7 that could maybe challenge for 4, you're seeing a lot of improvement. I think Santa Clara has really showed improvement over Herb Sendick. You guys had a nail biter against them earlier this season. You guys play them again later this weekend after you play Gonzaga. What are you seeing about Santa Clara that's made them a unique team this year?
Yeah, they're just efficient offensively. I mean, they have so many guys on the floor that can score and can create their own shot with PJ Pipes and Jalen Williams and Frankich and Justice. I mean, they have 4 guys on the floor at all times that can, like I said, can create a shot, can make a shot. They're playing faster than I think they've ever played before, and they pass really well. They're kind of maybe a little bit lesser offensive version of Gonzaga. I mean, Gonzaga's got all the guys on the floor can create their own shot. They pass extremely well. And Santa Clara is doing a lot of those same things.
When you're putting together a game plan for Gonzaga, who you play on Thursday, I'm sure you look at all different options with your staff. Gonzaga fans have seen lots of different thoughts by different WCC coaches. You've seen the slowdown tactic. You've seen the double teams. You've seen occasional zones. University of Portland dared them to shoot it from 3, which resulted in 18 made threes. How many different ideas do you go through? And then what is it that kind of confirms you and your staff sticking with the game plan that you're going to implement at the start of the week?
Yeah, you go through 100 different options, especially with your ball screen coverage. Because they're so good out of 2-man games, out of ball screens. They got a magician with the ball in his hands, and he knows how to attack every coverage, and so he just forces you to just be able to look at. You have to just look at, okay, how are they going to beat you? How are they going to beat you? And just doing your very best job to limit everything else and make everything as tough as possible. And that's a great challenge in itself, because again, they're such a good passing team that they see where things are coming from and they know where to attack it. So you try to hone in on, okay, what's the best way that we can cover 2-man games? What's the best way we can get back in transition and cover their transition attack? And then who are the guys that maybe that you're going to help off the ball a little bit, and because they have great shooters all around, and who are you going to maybe aggressively help, one pass away on drives, and who are the guys that you're not going to. So a lot goes into it, and but you gotta, like I said, just center it into an attack, and then try to get the best effort possible out of your guys.
Yeah, the transfer portal has become more and more important for players as well as teams. Coaches have to be very selective. You guys also at USD, because of the really high academic standards, which is typical across the WCC, I'm sure are limited at times with the guys that you can go after. How do you work around those requirements? And then tell us about the senior transfer, Jace Townsend, who came over from Denver, who's having a heck of a year for you guys.
Yeah, you have to find guys that are committed to doing the best job they can in the classroom. Because it's really for us here at USD is just the academic workload is challenging. So you have to have guys that at the very bottom line have a pride in what they're doing in the classroom, because they're going to be challenged on a daily basis. And you have to find guys that obviously have tremendous pride in their academic achievement. And so that forces you in your recruiting process to spend some time on that, and you got to address it, and you got to talk about it, and you got to get on the same page. And we've been very, very fortunate in this past year to find some tremendous guys out of the transfer portal, some tremendous men, some guys that are committed to being the best men, students, and players they can be. And Jace Townsend is certainly one of those. A guy that has had a good individual career at Denver, scored over 1,000 points, 20-point a game score, and just wanted an opportunity to go and impact winning and be a part of a process of changing the face of a program. And he's been just amazing to work with on a daily basis, because he just wants to add more dimensions to his game, to that, like I said, that impacts winning, as opposed to just being a guy that is a volume scorer, which is what he's kind of been for his whole career. And so it's been really fun to see that development in Jace.
And one of the things with the transfer portal and the waiver of the sitting out a year, it's impacted young players, I think, unfortunately. And you guys do have a good freshman, and he's actually a hometown kid. How important is it for you guys to kind of keep a San Diego kid home? Because it's one of the best cities in the country. Obviously, I think you would have an advantage, I would imagine, when you're recruiting a local kid. Wayne McKinney's gotten off to a nice start for you guys.
Yeah, that's been very big for our program. Having a local, kind of a hometown hero, that Wayne is, that wanted to stay home and like I said, impact winning in a program. And he's just been another young man that's just been so fun to be a part of his process, and just seeing him grow. Every game, every day, he just learns a little bit more about basketball at this level, and he makes another play, that shows that he's growing and he's learning, about the difference between the WCC and playing at Coronado High School, and so and he is just I think he's a big reason why. That we've been able to have some success here early in conference. His leadership, with the ball in his hands as our point guard, and what he's done defensively, and his decision making. And so it's very important, for our program to have a local guy doing as well as Wayne is.
Gonzaga's facilities have been tremendous ever since the McCarthy Athletic Center was built, the practice facility. But we're starting to see a lot of programs in the WCC kind of take that step and be committed. What is USD doing to kind of show that commitment to potential recruits?
I think there's a lot of conversation on through our administration on campus, about taking those steps. Our president, who's fantastic, understands that maybe our facilities might be a little bit below the rest of the league, and obviously Gonzaga, but teams like Santa Clara's got beautiful facilities. And so there's a motivation, a strong motivation, to take that next step here at USD with our facilities, and providing the best resources possible for all of our athletes.
Coach, I appreciate the time. Unfortunately, the local crew of myself, Richard Fox, and Greg Heister won't be on the call as we were originally
around
on December 30th. I appreciate that. But I look forward to tuning in, watching the game, and best of luck the rest of the way.